Отож, дорогі учасники конференції, представляємо вам наступного лектора, асистент віце-президента коледжу Санта-Фе, штат Флорида, Сполучені Штати Америки, Vilma Fuentes. Будь ласка.
Дякую. Thank you very much for being here, for being present, and for your interest in the American Community College model. My name is Vilma Fuentes. I work at Santa Fe College in Florida, the United States. So this is part 2 of a presentation. The first part was given yesterday, and we talked about how the community colleges are organized in order to develop a workforce for the 21st century. Today, I will continue the discussion of American community colleges, but I have been fortunate enough to receive questions from you, especially from Ukrainian students, questions based on what I presented yesterday. And so thank you to the director, Volodymyr Kalushka, for sending me these questions. And I will do my best to answer them one by one. And then I'll be happy to stop the presentation and receive additional questions. So first, students have asked whether our colleges focus on theory or practical skills. It's an excellent question. And the truth is we do both. And it also depends what you are studying. We have different kinds of degrees that we offer. For example, after high school, after secondary school, students come to us. Many of them say, I want to go to a university. I want to earn a baccalaureate degree or a master's degree at a university. No problem. So we receive them and we put them in an Associate of Arts degree. These are mainly theoretical degrees. You call them theoretical. It means students will study historia, literatura, matemática, sociología, etc., right? They will study these kinds of subjects, and it will be the equivalent, the same as the first 2 years of university instruction. Now, if you're an engineering major, you might be taking calculus, calculus 1, 2, 3, physics, chemistry. If your major is political science, you might be taking international relations, comparative politics, statistics, and the math and the science maybe not as important. But at community colleges, we also have career and technical programs. We have a wide variety of programs, and these are very, very technical in orientation. The difference is for these degrees, whether it's a certificate program that students want to complete, the certificate programs can be finished in 6 months, 12 months, or if it's the Associate of Science degree that can be completed in 2 years. These are preparing students to go to work, not to go to the university, to go to work. So it's very, very practical skills based. You still have to take a few classes that are a little theoretical, but I would say the certificate programs are about 75% practical, maybe more, okay, 75, right, percent. And the AS degree programs, those maybe 50% theoretical, 50, maybe a little bit higher depending on the program. So now, what certificates programs are offered? Which of these career and technical programs are offered depends on the college. My college, for example, does not have a program in culinary arts. We do not have a program in hospitality. We do not have a program in agriculture because our local economy doesn't need specialists in that. But different parts of the country will offer that to meet the needs of the local economy. Okay, second question. It's an Excellent question. Do people need higher education to get a good job in the USA? This is a very important question because let's be honest, students don't like to study, right? They want to be finished with school. They're tired of school. They just want to just live life. What I can tell you is the statistics in the United States, certainly since 1991, show that the best way for someone to earn a middle-class life, for someone to have a good job in the United States, a good job that lets you have a house, a car, take care of your children, is the baccalaureate degree, the baccalaureate. It's the best guarantee that you and your family will have a good middle-class life in the United States. When my mother was in school, many people stopped after secondary school. Many people stopped after high school, and it was okay. There were jobs that you could find, good jobs that you could work with only a high school degree. Today, in the United States, if the only thing you have is a high school degree or a secondary school degree, you will probably live in poverty for the rest of your life, you and your children. So sometimes I see people that are, just this weekend, I saw someone 26 years old, a nice young man, and I asked him, "Are you in school?" And he said, "No, I went to college for 4 months after high school, but then we started having babies and I stopped." And I looked at him, and what was he doing? He was washing cars. That's all, washing cars. And I said, "You must go back to school. You must go back to school. If all you do is stay after with a high school degree, you and your children are going to be poor for the rest of your life." And that's a true story. Now, so the bachelor's degree has become very, very important, right? The baccalaureate degree. It accounts for about 56% of good jobs in the United States. And what this graph is showing you is just how important the baccalaureate has become from 1991 until today. There's been about an 18% increase in the demand for baccalaureate trained specialists. For example, nurses, medsestras. When I was a child, it was okay for you to have 1 or 2 years of college to become a nurse. But today, even the hospitals are telling their nurses, you must go back to school and you must finish a baccalaureate degree in nursing, right? Medsestra. But they're asking for more and more and more education. Now, you don't have to do the baccalaureate degree. There are other options. Today, the United States does not have enough plumbers, welders, auto mechanics, electricians, construction workers. I can keep going. There are many, many jobs that require people to work with their hands that and require some training that we have a shortage of. Who's going to fix the roads if we need the roads fixed, right? And so what you see here in red is it is possible for students to go to school and do a certificate program, 6 months, 12 months, or to finish an Associate of Science degree, a 2-year degree, and come out making very, very, very good money. Not as much as a doctor, not as much as an engineer, but very good money that will help you take care of your family. What you're also seeing is how educated is our Americans. And you see a very big divide. You have people who go to college and you have people who don't. And these here at the bottom, the ones that did not finish high school, the ones that only finish high school, those are the ones living in poverty today. So again, as a reminder, American community colleges have different choices, right? You can get certificate programs, very practical, less than 2 years. And a welder, a plumber, an electrician, an auto mechanic can make very good money. They will not be rich, but they will make good money. They will be able to buy a house, buy a car, take care of their family. Then you have the Associate of Science, right? Also, excellent jobs, about 50% theoretical, 50% practical, but you can get some very, very good jobs in the United States and have a good middle-class life. And then there is the Associate of Arts, intended to go to a university and finish a baccalaureate. So you start with the Associate of Arts, 2 years, plus 2 years, 2 plus 2, Chotere, right? Chotere Roki. That's Associate of Arts and the baccalaureate. Okay. Another question, third question that I received. Do you monitor employers' needs, right? Do we respond to market needs? Yes, Zvичайно, absolutely, we do. And to do this, we collaborate with government. We collaborate with the government of Florida. We collaborate with the government, the federal government out of Washington. And the main thing that community colleges do, community colleges are assigned a region that they are responsible for. And every year, we monitor what is happening there. You know, do we still need auto mechanics? Do we still need construction workers? Do we need specialists in cybersecurity or in artificial intelligence? And this labor market data will tell us, yes, there are many jobs in the area, or no, we don't need that anymore. Now, sometimes this data is a little bit old, right? So if a new company comes into my city and they establish a new factory and say, we need to hire 100 workers for the factory, it might take the government 1 or 2 years to report that. But it's very important for those businesses to come to the community colleges and tell us what they need, because we will train the workers, okay? So this is what the data looks like at the federal level, and this is what it looks like at a local level. Now, if that new factory comes to us and needs workers and we don't have that program, if we do not have the academic program, the federal government can give us grants so that we can buy equipment and train the workers that are needed in society. Another question I received, does your college cooperate with employers? Yes, absolutely. We do it regularly and we do it in different ways. So in my presentation yesterday, I spoke about advisory boards. Let me explain it a little bit more. Actually, let me do this. If my college has 30 academic programs, then we will have 30 advisory boards. Each program has its advisory board. So the nursing advisory board, for example, will have representatives from the local hospitals, from local clinics, from local doctors' offices, and they meet 2 times a year, and they will tell us, what do they need? What are the new needs that the hospitals have? What's the new training that we need to give our students? And the beautiful thing is they work with us. They help provide internships for our students. They help us improve what we are teaching. Sometimes they even donate materials. Like if a hospital is replacing an X-ray machine, they will give us an old X-ray machine for us to practice. But so that's the nursing program. But if we have an information technology program, they will have a different advisory board with different business representatives, all of them in information technology. And if we have a business program, then we will also have different business representatives there. All of these business representatives are helping to work with our faculty, with our administrators, to tell us how we should train our students and give us the support that we need. So again, I showed this slide yesterday, and I explained sometimes these local businesses give us equipment, sometimes they give us faculty that can train. And sometimes when it works very, very well, we can work together with local businesses and create really great, spectacular projects like these. This I mentioned yesterday, our students work in about 9 months and build a house. But they do this not by themselves. The college doesn't have the money for this. We receive material from local builders, local construction companies. They give us the material that we need so that our students do this. Why do they give us free material? Because we are training their workers. We are training their workers, and when a student finishes this job, they are ready to be hired by a local business. The local business knows they know how to build a house. Another question that I received: do internships or volunteering help students find jobs? Tak, zwyczajno. Always, yes. So for many of our certificate programs and our technical programs, students are required to have internships. They must. They cannot graduate without an internship. But regardless of your program, even if you are not required, you should at least volunteer. And it's a challenge, yes, because sometimes students volunteer and they don't get paid, but that's okay, because when you volunteer, you're showing them you are professional. You are showing them that you arrive to work early, that you do your work, you are dependable, and that you are getting valuable experience. So in the United States, many companies will accept volunteers, or they have internships, but students do not get paid for the internships. And it's just a way for students to prepare to go to work. But keep in mind, even though community colleges here help students find the internships, help students build their resume, help them learn how to interview, in the end, students have to find the jobs. They have to find the jobs themselves. They have to create the opportunities. And sometimes our students decide, I don't want to work for anybody else. I will start my business. And that's okay. Okay, another excellent question I received: how can students improve their chances? This is misspelled. Their chances of finding a job. Excellent question. So in the United States, there have been a lot of studies on this, a lot of research on businesses. And there are consistently, businesses will say, it does not matter what you study. Did you study accounting? Did you study engineering? Did you study what? It doesn't matter. There are certain things everyone needs to have, right? You need to learn how to work in a team, a group of people, right? You're not going to be in a little room by yourself working. You need to learn how to work in a team. We live in a globalized world. So you need to have global and intercultural skills. You need to know how to work with people that come from another country, that speak another language in a way that is sensitive and shows that you know something. Critical thinking, the ability to solve problems, right? The ability to work with technology. Technology is everywhere now, in every field. You need to know how to do this. You need to show that you can speak and that you can write properly. You can get a brilliant engineer, but if that engineer cannot stand in front of a room and explain his ideas or her ideas, maybe they won't get the job. If you're an accountant and you work with numbers, but you cannot write a report and explain what your numbers mean, then you probably will not receive the job. So that's very important. Professionalism, right? Very important. You have to worry about how you dress, how you present yourself, how you conduct yourself in a meeting, that it's always very professional. Leadership, are you a leader? And not everyone is a leader, but you know, companies like leaders, and then some management skills. So these are the skills that were suggested by, in the United States, the National Association of Colleges and Employers, NACE. But there's another group that did another study. It's out of a university called Georgetown University, and they came to similar results. Communication, oral and written, teamwork, leadership, problem solving, right? Customer service. And these were the top 5, but if you keep going, you see digital technology, like there's more and more things that they need. So just remember, just because you're learning how to work with a machine, or if you're learning how to work with technology or a computer or automotive, you still need to communicate. You still need to work with other people. You still need to have other skills aside from the skill that you're being trained to have. Another question. I was asked, what are the employment opportunities for people with disabilities? It's a very good question. In the United States, we believe very much in inclusive education, and we are trying to create an inclusive society. But people with disabilities have a more difficult time finding employment. According to our Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics, they just came out with a report a few weeks ago that shows, okay, who did not have a job in the United States? Who was unemployed? Well, people with a disability had a much higher percentage of being unemployed than people with no disability. There's a difference. Both can find employment. Now, and this means that you are actively searching for jobs and you cannot find them. And then if you look at employment overall, everybody, whether you're 60 years old, 20 years old, my age, right? Overall, we see that people with disabilities are employed less than people with no disabilities. I can also tell you that in the United States, most of the people with disabilities are older people, maybe because of a health reason, maybe because of war, maybe because of an accident. Older people have become disabled. And maybe after that, they stop working. But if you are a young person, if you are 20, 25 years old, what I can tell you is if you have a disability, your best jobs will be in government and in education, because the government has made a commitment to be inclusive and hire people with disabilities. But there are some businesses that are purposefully trying to hire people with disabilities. And let me see if this will work. Oh, no. Okay, so Amazon, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but Amazon has become a very big company in the United States, especially during the pandemic. You can go on your phone. Ooh, wait, my phone. You can use your telephone and you can order shirts, you can order anything. Amazon will deliver it. So Amazon has committed itself to hiring people with disabilities. Starbucks, I don't know, do we have Starbucks in Ukraine? Maybe in Kiev, maybe not. But I know they have it in Moscow and they have it in most capitals. But Starbucks is a very popular place where people go drink coffee, right? Kava? And they have also made a commitment. 2 years ago, they started the first Starbucks for deaf people. Okay, I'm going to stop that and I will show you one more. In Florida, the biggest grocery store, the supermarket where we buy food is Publix. And Publix has made a very strong commitment to hire people with disabilities. They hire many people with disabilities. And I'll show you a little clip of this also.
Publix is proud to have a diverse and inclusive workforce. We want our associates to reflect the communities that we serve, and persons with disabilities are definitely a large part of that segment. We get calls all the time at corporate. Do you have a special initiative in hiring persons with disabilities? And actually, our store managers, they just do the right thing, and we don't have any initiative, and they feel empowered to hire persons with disabilities. Part of our mission statement is to be involved as responsible citizens in the communities, and that's what we're doing.
I like meeting the customers and getting to know them. As a bagger, it's hard to get to know the customers, but as a cashier, you got more of the one-on-one with them. So I really gained a lot by, having a job and getting the skills to, to live on my own. And I think it helps the customers feel at ease too, that know that Publix, different organizations, or hiring people with disabilities, so they're not looked up, down upon.
We have many customers that come in and shop just because of some of our associates. And our associates look forward to seeing those customers come in their store. Attitudes and perceptions are broken through experiences. If you have the associates work side by side, you'll actually see that there's actually more similarities than differences.
But Publix is hiring people with mental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, people with physical disabilities. They're being hired by Publix. They also have other people with no disabilities. They have both. So what we are seeing is it depends on the company. Some companies, some very large companies in the United States are trying to create an inclusive workforce. But it's not easy. People who have disabilities do have a more difficult time. But the most important thing is having an education. People with disabilities have less education than others. And so the more educated they are, the more opportunities there are, the more, the better jobs they can get. So in sum, what I want to tell you, what I have been trying to tell you, is I want you to put the pieces together. All of you are very young. You are just beginning. You are studying. Think about your future and what you need to do. Do not go to the college and then go home and stop. It is not enough. We live in the 21st century. You need to develop your other skills, your leadership skills, your group skills, intercultural competence skills, your global skills. You need to know how to work with people from different countries, people with disabilities, with no disabilities. And even though your college might help you find jobs, you are responsible for finding your jobs. You are responsible for how you present yourself. You need to volunteer. You need to do internships and do well. It is your responsibility, but you could do it. And there is a team here to help you and to support you. So thank you for your attention. And I would be happy to receive questions. Питання?
Так, Ігор, там на чатах є питання. Передай, будь ласка.
Отож, шановні студенти, ви можете зараз задавати питання. Thank you. And we have some questions in the chat.
In the chat.
Hello. 2 years
Hello.
college with 4-year college.
Можете включити камери, ті, що під'єднуються.
Nadia, thank you for your question. When our college was started, it was for 2 years, certificate programs and associates programs. But Florida, the demography, the population is growing very fast. So about 10 years ago, we were allowed to offer baccalaureate degrees. Today, we offer 2-year, we offer certificate programs that are short, we offer 2-year degrees, and then we offer 4-year baccalaureate degrees. Others?
I have a
Next question. Mhm.
What is graduate and graduate recruitment and how it's beneficial for graduates?
So thank you, Sasha. I know it is difficult to speak in another language. So thank you for being brave. You're asking about equipment.
Yes.
So tell me the question again.
Probably not about equipment, but recruitment.
Recruitment of new
Recruitment.
recruitment of new students
For graduates.
for jobs.
Mhm.
Yes.
Recruitment for jobs. You know, before the pandemic, we used to have recruitment fairs. We would invite businesses in our area to come to the college and meet our students and hire our students. We did not do it this year. We did not do it last year because of the pandemic. Maybe we will do that again. So usually for recruitment of workers, you know, maybe your professor or the administrator in your area knows about businesses that are hiring. Remember, we have the advisory boards, and those businesses are always looking to hire students. And there is one office that students can go to and say, I am looking for a job, and they will show you some of the jobs in our area. But, you know, students also need to do this by themselves. In the United States, many things are on web platforms, and that helps them find information.
Okay, thank you. And one more, at what age can you start working in the United States?
In the United States, you can start working at 15. 15 rokів. Very young.
Okay, thank you.
But at 15, you'll have a little job, like a part-time job, a few hours. You're not going to work 40 hours.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next question, please.
I have a question. What are the top three strange for that employers look for in the USA?
So the motorcycle, I couldn't hear very well. Can you say it again, please?
Okay. What are the top three strangers that employers look for in the USA?
So first you need to know your profession, right? If
Right.
you're an engineer, you need to be you need to show that you're a good engineer. If you're a mechanic, you need to show you're a good mechanic. But what we see is teamwork, being able to work in a group of people as a team is very, very important. Communication, verbal communication, written communication, very, very important. They're always at the top. Probably technology, like technology skills is also very, very important. But those would be like 3, but there are others. Like I said, we live in a globalized world, so global skills, intercultural, there are others. I can send you the information so that your director can share it with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
On average, how long does it take to pay off students' loans in the USA? And what makes community colleges affordable?
Okay, so what makes community colleges affordable? They were created to be affordable. They cost less than universities, than public or private universities. So there is a very big difference in price between a community college and the university. Many students think, oh, but the university is more prestigious. I want to go to the big university. That's fine. And you can come to the community college first, do 2 years here, and then transfer, and you save money. But Nadia, you had a first part of the question. Can you repeat that, please?
How long does it take to pay off students' loans in the USA?
So not every student has a student loan. My daughters do not have student loans. My husband and I saved money for many years so that they can go to college free. But for many Americans, they are able to go to college because they receive a loan, usually from the federal government. The federal government lends students money and says, go to school, get a profession, and after you graduate, you have 10 years, 10 roky, to pay back. If it's not enough, if you need more time, then the government can give you more time.
And I also have one more question. So, do you see me or not?
Angelina.
Yeah.
I can't see you, but I can see your name.
Okay. So, hello, nice to see you. So, do you practice teaching in an informal ambience, such as outdoors or other places?
I do not. Some people do. It depends what they're teaching. I have professors that teach environmental science, and they take the students outside to learn what they're learning in class. We have a zoo program. Students are learning with the animals by taking care of the animals. We have music and dance classes. I've seen some of the students, especially now in the pandemic, they're outside playing music and dancing and art. Some of the art classes are done outside, but most of the classes are inside.
And also from all students, I want to say thank you for your interesting lecture and answers for our questions. We will be glad to see you in Ukraine, especially in our technical college, now it's professional college, and hope to see you soon.
I would love to visit you, so thank you. I hope to visit Ternopil.
I want to ask a question.
Veronica, go ahead.
What's your most beloved quotation about education?
Say it louder, please.
What's your most beloved quotation about education?
I love working with students, and I love helping students. I like to help, and I love to see them grow. So I teach international relations, and I have students that come to my class and they know nothing. They don't read the newspaper. They don't know what's happening in world politics. And it's fun for me to tell them what's happening in Ukraine. What's the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? Why does the United States care about China and the South China Sea? Why are we in Iraq and Afghanistan? And why are we leaving? This is all important. So I don't know. I love what I do. It's a wonderful job. It's a wonderful profession. But
Thank you for your answer.
Veronica, I will say, when I was very young, when I was 22, I first became an elementary school teacher, a primary school teacher. I hated that. I hated working with little kids. They were very cute, but you had to tell them, sit down, be quiet, don't touch her, pay attention. I did not like that. So I only did that 2 years and I left. Okay, Oksana, I see in the chat, what are the most popular majors at Santa Fe College? I don't know, but I think I am almost certain nursing, right? Medsestra, that's very high up there. Engineering is very popular, also very popular. Psychology, but I don't know the statistics, but those are 3 of the more popular ones. And Andre, what is crucial in choosing an educational institution in the United States? You know, we have thousands of institutions in the United States. I think students, you have to be practical and think, how much will it cost? My children live in Florida, okay? My husband and I, we have paid for their school in Florida. If my children decide to move to Michigan, I'll say, I don't have money to pay for Michigan, right? Then we have to buy a house and food and transportation and school, and that I don't have money for that. So sometimes students have to decide, do I have to live at home? Can I go to a school close by? So that's the first consideration. And then what are the schools nearby? And in the United States, if you live in Florida, it is less expensive to go to college or university in Florida. And then within that, it will be less expensive to do a community college than a university. But, you know, some people, you know, and then you have to decide, what do you want to study? My oldest daughter wants to study ecology, wildlife ecology and conservation. My college does not teach that. She can't, you know, she can take basic biology classes and chemistry classes, but she must go to a university to study this. So, Andre, I don't know if I answered your question. Igor, I did not hear from you. Are you there?
Well, of course, let me also ask you several questions. For example, tell us, please, if I am a foreign student, what should I remember when I sign my first contract at work? When I finally am hired, and what details, what tips can you provide us in order to be very attentive when we sign first contract at work?
If you are a foreign student, well, it's a little, I don't know, right? I can tell you that today it is very difficult for a foreign student to find a job in the United States. If you want to find a job in the United States, you should study something with very, very high demand. Engineering, information technology, medicine. Those are probably the big ones. We need many, scientists, scientists. If you want to come to the United States and stay here, you need to study something like that, because we don't have enough people studying that. And then it really depends on your company. It's a whole special process. So let me see on the side. So what IT companies does your college cooperate with? I don't know all their names, but we have several local companies or companies in our region that we work with. But I don't know their names, sorry. Irina, can students with special needs enter the college? Yes, of course. It's the law. They can enter the college, and if they are blind, if they are deaf, if they are in a wheelchair, the problem is when they let us know, and then we try to support them so that they can be successful. So if you want to know more, Irina, ask me more, please.
Okay, thank you so much. And Mr. Volodymyr wants to ask a question.
Просто Володимир хоче ще задати питання по-українськи. Вільма, до пандемії в Україні дистанційне навчання не було розвинуте.
Before the COVID-19 or pandemic, distance learning in Ukraine, it wasn't really developed.
З тими обставинами, що ми зараз ввійшли в ситуацію,
Taking into consideration all of this situation with pandemic, with COVID-19,
дистанційне навчання пішло дуже результативно і з великими швидкостями.
So nowadays we use a lot of distance learning. So students mostly study distant.
Це вже і лекції,
So it lectures.
це вже текстування, це вже здача екзаменів і навіть і навіть захисти дипломних і курсових проєктів.
All exams nowadays we do only online.
Який у вас був рівень дистанційного навчання до пандемії, і чи також воно у вас вплинуло в позитиві на її розвиток?
So what about your situation before the pandemic or COVID-19? How it was? Did you study online? Did you use a lot of distance learning? And how about now?
Дякую.
Thank you.
Excellent question. And when you visited our college, we did not tell you very much about distance education. Перекладач, будь ласка. Oh, he's there?
Yes, okay. Yes. Could you repeat
okay.
that?
Before the pandemic, 20% of our classes were being offered virtually. 20, that's it.
20% наших класів навчалися дистанційно.
20%.
20%.
20. Mm-hmm. In March of last year, it's 100%. All the classes went virtual for the pandemic. When the summer came, May, June, July, it was a very big problem for our technical programs because you cannot teach automotive virtually. You cannot train a police officer virtually. There's things you cannot do virtually. So we allowed the classes that needed practical skills to come back to the college. And so many of our professors, they had fewer students in a room because everybody had to be far away and with masks. This is still our lives. And so the professors were working more hours with smaller groups. Today, we have maybe 50% of classes virtual. Slowly, we are hoping that by the end of the year, by September, we will have more classes in person. But if you remember, in the United States, right, the pandemic was like big problem. Велике проблема last year, still a big problem. I'll put it in the chat. about 585,000 plus Americans have died during the pandemic. It's such an enormous tragedy in this country. And so, but right now the vaccines have come out. I know that our citizens are getting vaccines more easily than you are. It's because it was such a big problem. So the more people get vaccinated, the safer it will be to return to normal. But I think we will always have virtual classes. There is a big demand for virtual classes.
Дякую. В нас така ж сама картина.
So we have the same situation.
Дітвора вже хоче повертатися в аудиторії.
All students want to come back to a normal life, to study in class.
Але десь і дистанційне навчання також бачать в тому позитив. В дистанційному навчанні бачать позитив.
Even study online is really good for our students. So it's a positive.
І от вчора Міністерство освіти робило опитування студентів, наскільки ви хочете повернутися в аудиторію. То відсоток 50 на 50.
According to the survey conducted by the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine about distance learning, 50% of students were for distance learning and another 50% for offline learning.
Але все-таки живе спілкування набагато краще, мабуть, кращі результати в кінцевому, як кажуть.
Yeah, but it's better to study in class, even for practical skills.
Dякую.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's I think so. When I started teaching at the college, I did not want to teach virtually. I did not think it was a real education. I avoided it.
Yes, in the college.
But that when the pandemic came, I thought, oh, what are our teachers doing? What are our students doing? This is such a challenge. And I spent many months last year. I spent many months last year getting trained because I thought I want to know what how do you do this? So I will show you something.
Ну, на перших порах викладачі було дуже важко. Викладачам було дуже важко.
So firstly, it was really hard for our teachers.
Це ж підготовка всіх лекційних матеріалів, практичних. Ну, працювали, мабуть, по 12 годин на добу.
So we worked like 12 hours per day.
Yes.
Але як завершився один семестр, вже десь повторення матеріалу, то вже ставало трошки легше і можна було вдосконалюватися.
When the first semester ended, yes, so we solved all the problems with information and everything else.
Але позитив також і від тому, що студенти вже побачили теоретичний матеріал, готові і могли його опрацьовувати не в той час, коли їм потрібно, а в той час, коли вони хочуть.
But students have all the necessary information and they can read and all the information online on our website.
Тому десь є і позитив, а надіємося, що вже з осені все-таки війдемо в нормальний режим навчання.
So we hope that from September we will study in a normal way.
So I want to show you a little bit of my class, if I can.
Якщо можу, але не знаю, там треба надати доступ.
Let me invite you to my class. This is my international relations class.
Oh.
And when students come, okay, welcome, you go to the modules. One moment. And each module is 1 week. So, for example, this week we are studying the history of international relations. So, I tell students what they need to read. They can read, they can link to the articles. I also give them videos. There are many videos now on YouTube, on the internet, that I can use, and I can add maps. These are little videos, right? Like Yat Hevelen, Visim Hevelen. And then this is very important. They have to communicate with me. They have to talk to me. So I ask them questions, bahato petanya, right, about what they read and what they saw. They have not answered me yet this week. They have until Saturday. And then I put my lecture, a lecture that, you know, in this case, it's a 40-minute lecture. They can see my presentation. And they have a quiz about this 1 week. And then one thing I'm doing every week is have something just for fun. Maybe this is not very fun this week, but this week, because it's about history, I am encouraging them to watch a Belarusian film. Have you ever seen this? Fortress of War. I will send you the link. But last week, I'll show you very quickly. Last week, the Just for Fun was about Eurovision, because in the United States, people don't know what Eurovision is. It's very foreign. So I told the students about Eurovision. I told them about Jamala and how she won a few years ago. And I told them to look at some of the contestants and tell me who they liked. So you can do fun things also, but it's very important to communicate with students and even to meet them on Zoom so that they don't feel alone.
Ігор, є ще питання від студентів? Чи вже завершили?
Зараз ми перевіримо в чаті. So let's check our chat because we have some more questions. What prospects we can have in your country studying at Santa Fe College, and how many foreign students can find a work with you?
So we would love to have Ukrainian students here. I don't think we have any right now, which makes me very sad. We did have one Ukrainian student a few years ago. You would need to apply. I'll be happy to send you. Well, first of all, let me put in the chat. If you're interested in this movie, I am telling students to watch. It's an excellent movie. It's actually in Russian. So, and it's a great movie about World War II. So what you would need to do is you need to apply, and you would need to work through the Education USA office in Ukraine, in Kiev, to see how they can assist you. I will give you some information very quickly. 1 minute, please. So I'm going to put in the chat. But basically, you would come to this website and you would be a new student. You can apply and submit your information. You should know that to study in the United States, one of the requirements is that you need to prove that you and your family have enough money to pay for your studies, to pay for your apartment, to pay for your food. And you will have to present a note from the bank saying, we have this much money in the bank. You also have to work through the embassy in Kyiv to get their approval. But go to this website and read all the information and guidance. And if you want to know more, I do not work with the international students, but if you want to know more, we can schedule a meeting with somebody that helps students come in, and he can give you very technical information on all the steps.
Okay, thank you. And we would like to ask you at the very end of our lecture to choose the most interesting question for you. So the students ask. It will be okay.
The most interesting question. Actually, I received this yesterday from your director, but somebody asked, how can students improve their chances of finding a job? That is a very good question, and I think not enough American students ask that. What can students do to improve their chances of finding a job? So everything I showed you about teamwork, communication, professionalism, all that information is really, really important. But I will share links with your director, and then maybe he can share it with you.
Okay, thank you. But the person who asked the most interesting question is gonna receive a gift. So probably our director will also receive a present. Okay.
Love it. This explains why so many people ask questions. It's a brilliant idea. Give them a gift. Yes, I like it.
Okay, thank you.
У мене ще інформація, вже кажуть, на завершення. Вільма, не знаю, чи вам повідомляли з посольства Сполучених Штатів Америки, але наша студентка Солоненко Олександра їде, виграла грант, ну там грант, піврічне навчання в Сполучених Штатах Америки. В якому навчальному закладі ще ніхто не знає. Можливо, попаде десь у Флориду, а може і в Санта-Фе.
So we have a student, Solonenko.
Sasha Solonenko.
Yes, yes. Do you know her?
I see her name and her avatar. And
yes,
earlier.
She's going to study in the United States. We don't know where she's going to study, but maybe in Florida, maybe in another state. Yeah.
Super. So, Sasha, Alexandra, make sure you communicate with me, and if your director could give you my email, let's stay in contact, and I will be happy to guide you before you arrive. You will be in, Vladimir, this is the program that they were doing through the US Embassy?
Вона вас зараз слухає, і я думаю, що розуміє, і вона з вами зв'яжеться, по крайній мірі, по електронній пошті.
She's hearing you, and she will contact you.
Okay. And Sasha is coming for 1 year?
For 10 months.
For 10 months.
Okay. I know the program. It's an excellent program. It's the Community College Initiative program. You will be very happy, Sasha. They will take very, very good care of you. So it's possible you'll come to Florida, maybe to Valencia College in Orlando, maybe. If you come to Florida, I will go visit you, okay?
І ще десь на завершення є ще питання, які ми не виконали, як перед навчальними закладами.
So we have questions.
Ну, я зараз перескажу. Не виконали це, що Вільма повинна відвідати Тернопіль.
So you have to visit Ternopil.
Ну і наші студенти, вони ж планували в травні 2020 року відвідати Санта-Фе, то думаю, що воно здійсниться. Будемо надіятись в 22-му, бо все так вроді з посольством, домовленості всі залишаються в силі.
So last year, our students had to visit the United States of America, and we hope that it will happen this year or next year, maybe.
I am waiting for you. But you could please explain to your director, in February of last year, we had a new president. The pandemic. And then my boss, my vice president, is leaving in 2 weeks. He will become a president of a new college in New York. So there's a lot of changes here.
Yes.
But I would love to visit you in Ternopil, I hope, and I will gladly, I look forward to receiving your students.
Я дивлюся, тобто буду рада побачити ваших студентів.
Велике дякую за працю, дякую за увагу і до найближчої зустрічі.
See you soon. Thank you for all the information that you have provided.
Thank you. And Alexandra, I hope I see you in Florida or in the United States. Okay?
Okay, I hope so.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for your attention. Take care.
Thank you too.
Would like to say huge thank you for your lecture. We wish all the best for you, for your family, for your college. We wish all the best for the United States of America, and we, of course, we are looking forward to our cooperation. Thank you so much.
Щиро дякую. Bye.